Okay, guys, this is going to be a really quick video. You're not going to see this until the video goes live later tonight, because I've literally just got this news in the moment while I'm driving to work. I pulled over to do this video, but yeah, I had to stop over and I had to stop at the side of the road and do this because this is probably the biggest news that we've had in F1 for a long time. The 2025 season has already kicked off in a big way, and what a big way, because this is 11:05 now when I've gotten this news. It just came through on my phone. And I had to stop and look at it, because usually I get ping notifications to Formula One and whatnot, and also a transfer deadline day as well. I like to keep up to date with all the sports that I watch. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton is joining Ferrari for 2025 alongside Charles Leclerc. This has been teased for like a good 4 years, I would say. For a long time, it was teased like back in like the in late 2019 and 2020 and whatnot as well. But obviously, Lewis locked himself in with Mercedes, and Ferrari signed Carlos Sainz in 2021 to partner Charles Leclerc. But yeah, this is it's a weird thing because I think a lot of people kind of saw it coming. I was one of them, especially with what happened over the last 2 years, 2022, 2023, how massively Mercedes dropped off. And with new engine regulations coming in 2026, I think Lewis now feels... He probably feels now's the time to like make that dream move and make it work. Ferrari they're on the cusp. They're almost there. If we go by the end of 2023, they're getting back on track now, especially with Frederick Vasseur at the helm. They're starting to get back on track, as we saw at the end of 2023. We would have liked to see like a little bit more, but Red Bull Verstappen, lol. But yeah, obviously Lewis feels the time is right now, like it was leading up to the previous engine regulation changes a year beforehand, to get move into Ferrari, and hopefully with when the new regulations drop for 2026, they'll be more competitive with Red Bull, and that is going to be a interesting dynamic there. The young prodigy Charles Leclerc, who's grown up with, in many ways, Charles Leclerc's like trajectory with Ferrari has nearly mirrored Lewis's. I mean, Lewis, when he joined, he got straight in with McLaren when he was in their young driver program. Charles, meanwhile, he started at Sauber/Alfa Romeo for a year before he joined Ferrari. But the whole thing of like being brought up by one of the biggest teams in the sport, and then jumping into their car and driving for them. I guess in a way, if I mean, you can look at it this way. Lewis wants to get Ferrari back on track and like win that 8th world title, and he feels that Ferrari are going to be the closest ones to do that rather than Mercedes, but also potentially lay the groundwork for Charles as a means of like endorsement, if you will. He probably feels that, okay, you're the guy now. I think you're the guy, so I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you build this platform to make your career, especially with the hardships that Charles has had to endure, having to losing his godfather, Gilles Bianchi, one of his best friends, Antoine Hubert, as well, in this sport. It's Charles is probably... It's definitely difficult to say the word popular, because of how diluted some F1 media is in their perception of how certain drivers are. But with the like racing fan base, the actual motorsport fan base, I definitely think Charles is one of the more sympathised drivers, I would say. He's had it hard losing all these people he loves, but he's still got that drive. He still wants to push forward. He still wants to make, because it's not just his dream, it was their dreams as well. Antoine and Gilles, it was their dream as well to be world champion. So Charles has got that drive to win it for them just as much as him. So Lewis probably sees that exact same drive that he had himself once. All the sacrifices that his parents made, his dad working 3 jobs a time to pay for his karting career. He sees that same drive in Charles to pay back all that sacrifice that's been made to get him to where he is. And he wants to see Charles succeed. So that's a potential reason there as well. But Ferrari was definitely the logical move for Lewis. There's no way he was going to get in at Red Bull, because Red Bull is a one-car operation. So sorry, Checo fans, but it's just true. There's no way that, like, 2 years in a row, Checo's gotten 2 race wins early in the season in 22 and 23. 2 race wins early at the start of the season, and then all of a sudden Max is like a second ahead of him. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, apart from the fact that the car is 100% geared behind Verstappen, and he's the only one that's allowed to win. Checo is there basically in a car that Red Bull have to field to make the rules. If they only had to run one car, they would only run one car. In regards to Verstappen, that's not a dig at Verstappen. He's he's not like in a privileged position, but he's in a position where, because he's obviously got that world championship now, the 3 world championship. Well, that's going to be a contentious point. It's been 3 years now, but 2, 3 championships, however one you look at it. He's the world champion basically. He's got Red Bull backing him. He's been there since he was a fetus, basically, which is what was it? He was there from when he was 16. I don't think he actually had a road driving license for the road when he when he joined Formula One, which is mad to think about. I think it was a similar issue with no, it wasn't. I was thinking Kimi Räikkönen, but that was his super license, so it might be a different thing. But yeah, no, with Max being embedded in at Red Bull as he is, like, Ferrari was the only top team viable for Lewis, and management-wise, it makes sense as well, because he knows Frederick Vasseur. He actually go back to when Hamilton was in GP2 in 2006, because Frederick Vasseur was, excuse me, he was the manager of the ART GP2 team when Lewis was racing there. So they know each other quite well, and they've obviously still got a certain connection there. So yeah, but again, this now leaves like other questions, like where does Carlos Sainz go? Like Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, like Carlos Sainz. With Carlos, he's had enough time at Ferrari to try and prove himself. I know he got the only non-Red Bull win in 2024, but majority of the time he was there, Leclerc pace-wise and like qualifying and race pace-wise he's had Carlos pretty much in his back pocket. That's not a slight on Carlos. He's a really good driver. He's a he can be a very consistent and dependable driver, but you need a bit more than consistency and dependency than when you're in a top team like Ferrari or Mercedes or Red Bull. You need that extra. You need that bit more to be in with a shot of winning not only races but Grand Prix. And he's had it. Like, he won the British Grand Prix in 2022. He won the Singapore Grand Prix in 2023. But those were more taking advantage of circumstances that fell in his favour rather than outright pace, so to speak. So that leaves him to go. At the moment, the only slot available for 2025 is Mercedes. So will Mercedes take Carlos Sainz, or will they go looking for another driver on the roster, like in the upper midfield teams? I mean, Lando's out of the question because he's signed on long term with McLaren. They could monitor Oscar Piastri, you never know. Fernando, he's getting to his mid-40s now. He's not going to be around much longer, but he's still going to make the most of the time he has. There's, I would say Pierre Gasly, but again, he's only just signed with Alpine, so again, that's going to be up in the air. But or they could go farming. They could go farming into the F2 ranks. It's a real difficult thing to say, especially only 2 years away from the new regulation changes. So, it's a difficult one. It's too early to tell, really. At the moment, logic says that Carlos Sainz is out of a seat at Ferrari. The only seat open available now is next to George Russell at Mercedes. So that's as it stands so far. But you've got to remember, Audi are going to be taking over Sauber in 2026. I'm not calling them Stakes F1. That's a dumbass name, mind you. Not like V Credit, Red Racing Bulls or something. That's what was wrong with Toro Rosso AlphaTauri. It was so much simpler. Why must you do this? This like Americanizing sponsorship ordeal. But yeah, so far that's how things are at the moment. At the moment, Mercedes' only viable option now is Carlos Sainz. There's no other like driver so far that's like proven themselves to be in that seat so far. So it's going to be a wait game. We've got 2 years worth of we've got a year to wait and think about what's going to happen, but it's going to be an interesting year now with that dynamic looming overhead already. That is Sainz going to bother trying now that he knows he's out of a seat at Ferrari? Are Mercedes going to be more behind George Russell now that Hamilton's leaving Mercedes? Because they're now, Hamilton's leaving, so will Mercedes be inclined to like push for that 8th World Championship for him? Or we don't know. We haven't even got to pre-season testing yet, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But yeah, that's a quicker video as I can, guys. This will be uploaded by the time you're watching this. It'll be either Saturday night or Thursday night or Friday morning. I won't be able to upload it until then because of my work. But for now, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this brief take on Lewis Hamilton's move to Ferrari for 2025. If you do enjoy this video, do feel free to hit the like button and share this video around. It really does help with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the little bell notification so you don't miss any of these videos. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and I'll see you next time.